us some insight, if you may, as to what's taking place there.
Um, Prior to Hurricane Irma, we had a program specifically for senior citizens in St. Martin. We got names from different community councils, different churches, different senior organizations, and we were going to be executing a program to alleviate the lives of seniors whose names we received. After Irma, the game changed, and the 75 homes that we had to do minor repairs to ended up that we had greater than 50% with catastrophic damage. We're standing here now in a neighborhood that had severe catastrophic damage, which is Dollison Drive. And on Dollison Drive, we built a total of three concrete houses, and we executed repairs to about four other homes. And what we're doing here this afternoon is we're officially handing over to a proud resident, Carlos Dollison and family, the keys to his new dwelling, despite the fact that he already moved in. And we're here to effect that. I'm accompanied by Mr. Chris Johnson, who's the representative of the government of the Netherlands based in St. Martin. And through the funding we received from the Dutch government, we were able to execute this project and also repairs and construction of an additional 92 homes in different neighborhoods.
Approximately how much has been made available to execute that program, Mr. Johnson?
Well, this fell as part of the, as Mr. Frank already said, there was an ongoing project already that was made available from the leftover monies from AMFO. And then after Irma, there was what we call the early recovery projects. And that was an additional 7 million euros that was granted to different NGOs on the islands, IOs as well. So you had Red Cross breakfast programs, you had White Yellow Cross doing housing programs as well and training. And then we had the SMDF also doing housing. The good part about this project was that this was already an ongoing program that you had from the SMDF. So they had information that could be used. They had already a database that could be used. So that was very helpful in putting an extra injection. And of course, my compliments to Keith Franca and to his team for the very good job that they have done. I must say they have been extremely diligent, hardworking. We have gone through a lot of different neighborhoods on St. Martin, and to see that firsthand, to see the effect that they've had on people's lives is very good. And from the Dutch government, we have been happy that we can contribute to something like this.
The concrete homes that we built were completely destroyed. As I indicated before, on Dollison Drive, we have three dwellings that were plywood, T111, that were totally flat. The only thing that remained was the concrete base. We reinforced the concrete foundation, and we built concrete homes. So we're here with three concrete homes close to each other. And the coincidence of the matter is that the road is called Dollison's Drive, and we're here to visit Mr. Carlos Dollison.
One might just say, look, seeing the fact that you had to reshift your attention following the passing of the hurricanes back last year, how many of such a home do you, as the representative of the St. Martin Development Fund, intend to at least help rebuild it?
We are aiming to do about a total of 95 to 96 homes. Within that total, there are 16 concrete homes. We're busy with the last two concrete homes. There's one in Phillipsburg and there's one in Miller Region. We have made an appeal to St. Martin government to continue the work because we have lists of additional people that have approached us, senior citizens that have approached us, and we're very optimistic that we will continue the program pretty soon.
Are you satisfied with the way things are going so far? Would you therefore say that the money is well spent?
Well, in this case, I would say absolutely. I think when people think of reconstruction, they put everything together in their mind. So they think of the World Bank, they think of the Trust Fund, they think of conditions that were set, they think of all of the different political developments. Like I said before, this specific project came out of, or the addition to this project came out of the 7 million extra for the early recovery financing. And for that, we chose to work with trusted partners. So we look at SMDF as a very trusted partner in the community, an organization that has a very good track record, that has its feet on the ground, that has knowledge of the community, and that can be a partner for us. So in that sense, we were very happy with them, but also with other organizations that we dealt with. We dealt with the White Yellow Cross, we dealt with the Red Cross and different programs that they had, whether it be football for kids and those type of things. For those part, I must say, overall we saw a very good effect. Of course, now when we go over to the big picture, dealing with the Trust Fund and the World Bank, that's quite a different story. And for that, we have the tripartite relationship between the Netherlands, St. Martin, and the World Bank. And that is a process that takes its time, that has to go the right way. That we're talking about projects, some of 50 million to 100 million types of dollars, but that's quite different than what we're seeing here with this. This one we were able to be more direct, more dealing with the trusted partners. In that we have to go through the other construct.
Carlos, first of all, how do you feel about your home?
Very good, very good, very good.
What about the home that you like so much?
Huh?
What about the home you like so much?
Well, it's my new house, man. I don't like it.
And
I am Carlos Dawson. I am his son.
okay, wonderful. First of all, this is a remarkable recovery for your person, the entire family. How do you feel about the involvement and realization of this home coming from the office of the Dutch representative and the St. Martin Fund?
Well, first of all, I am very grateful on behalf of my entire family because we see that the government, St. Martin Development Fund, and the Netherlands recognize the need after Hurricane Irma and Maria here in St. Martin to their citizens. There have been a lot of citizens that has been affected, and one of those are my parents here. And thank God that they actually rebuilt our home, and that is something that you don't always see everywhere. Even though St. Martin has gone through a lot after Irma, they've still managed to construct homes and make a lot of families happier than they've ever been. And that is something that we are very, very grateful for because we were one of those lucky people.
Maybe you can tell us a story. How was the home prior to Hurricane Irma?
Well, the home, I would say, was a normal and humble home. Before Hurricane Irma, it was a steady home. We didn't think that the hurricane was gonna affect it the way it did, and then the day after Irma, that we only saw the ground, it was a big shock to us. That's why looks can be deceiving, because sometimes we think that certain things are really, really good, and then we really see what's on the inside. That is not the case. So it was a humble home, but now we have a home that is 20 times better, and that is hurricane proof, and that we know we're gonna see it for many, many, many years to come.
What do you say to the organizations involved in rebuilding this beautiful home for your family in particular?
I wanna thank the St. Martin Development Fund as well as the Netherlands, because they have done an extraordinary job. Without them, we would not have been able to be living where we are today. And again, I am very, very grateful for that, because they see the need. They are willing to help us. They care about the people of St. Martin, and that goes for the Netherlands as well. St. Martin Development Fund is a very good institution, and they've always been caring about the people, and now after Irma, you really see them out. You see them out there, and you see the difference everywhere you go, because everywhere you go there is a home, and there's somebody happy that's talking good about it.
We having a function this Christmas season, boy. Festival Village, 8 p.m. December 8th. Come win prizes with family and friends. You don't want to miss this, seeing that it is time for Wally Hammertown Christmas Bingo Spectacular. Festival Village on December the 8th. $10 for you to play, dance it, so don't be late. Festival Village on December Havertown Christmas Bingo Spectacular is on Saturday, December the 8th at the Festival Village. Tickets are available at the Lion's Den, at Van Dorp, at Big D Photo Studio, and from all Lion members, going at only $10, $20, or €10. So folks, get your tickets in time. It's going to be quite a spectacular bingo. Anybody bingo? Nobody bingo.
Tell them, connecting you.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
The Air Traffic Services building suffered severe damages to its facility as a result of the devastation caused by Hurricane Irma. 2 doors located on the east part of the building were blown in and the water mixed with salt soaked into the equipment. All communication, navigation, surveillance equipment were left inoperative based on the assessment reports and thus required replacement. In January 2018, PGIE signed an agreement with Thales for the purchase, installation, and training of staff on the new primary, secondary, radar and automation system. Thales is one of the most reputable providers of radar and automation systems worldwide. Given the important role SXM air traffic services play for the neighboring islands as well, Thales made a big commitment and special efforts in manufacturing to support St. Martin to get all the new air traffic service management systems operational within 7 to 9 months. Important to note is that it usually takes 12 to 16 months for such a project. The integration of radar communication and navigation equipment is a tedious yet essential component of the project. The radar portion of the project was completed in August 2018, and the required flight check was carried out on October of this year and was also successful. The automation equipment are in place and the interconnections are ongoing. This part of the project is at 80% complete. This project is scheduled to be completed by November 30th of 2018. PGIE Air Traffic Control expect to be in full capacity prior to the start of the high season of 2018-2019. The acronym FBO stands for Fixed Base Operator. Currently, there are 2 operators at SXM Airport. They are Signature Flight Support and ExecuJet. Every year, St. Martin and the Caribbean prepare for the peak travel periods from this sector. The peak travel season in the Caribbean is from November through mid-April. St. Martin Airport is an important hub in the Caribbean for the general aviation operators, connecting airline flights and larger private jets with smaller aircraft bound for more remote islands such as St. Bart's, Anguilla, Tortola, etc. St. Martin Airport is ranked number 2 after San Juan, Puerto Rico in terms of private jet movements. The objective for the renovation is for SXM Airport to maintain its market share in this lucrative general aviation sector. This sector is closely linked with our local marine trades, yacht provisioning, and local caterers.
Hey ma, how you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Wib now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for?
I need to know who you're for.
Contact Wib today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices. The Wynwood Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
We having a function this Christmas season, boy. Festival Village, 8 p.m. December 8th. Come win prizes with family and friends. You don't want to miss this, seeing that it is time for Wally Hammer Town Christmas Bingo Spectacular. Festival Village on December the 8th. $10 for you to play, starts 8, so don't be late. Festival Village on December the 8th. Ham and turkey, airline tickets, hotel stays, Christmas goodies, Santa's bag with more to win. Time for Wally Hammer Town Christmas Bingo Spectacular. Havertown Christmas Bingo Spectacular is on Saturday, December the 8th at the Festival Village. Tickets are available at the Lion's Den, at Van Dorp, at Big D Photo Studio, and from all Lion members, going at only $10, $20, or €10. So folks, get your tickets in time. It's going to be quite a spectacular bingo. Anybody bingo? Nobody bingo.
The inspection department has several notices that it would like the business community and residents alike to take note of. The department would like to remind businesses that are reopening after rebuilding, such as rebuilding after the hurricanes, that they are expected to have renewed electrical inspections done by the inspection department. This is done to prevent short-circuit fires. Some of the recent supermarket fires, for example, have resulted from short circuits. So I urge businesses and homeowners to please make the necessary arrangements to have these electrical inspections done after reconstruction. The department would also like to remind the public that regular pumping of septic tanks remains essential to prevent wastewater leakages onto public roads or neighboring premises. This often results in being a nuisance, potential health hazards, and unsightly. This also damages the roads that we have been continually repaving and patching over the years. As I am on the topic of septic water, strict actions will be heavily enforced against businesses and building owners caught illegally pumping or releasing septic water into the Simpson Bay Lagoon or Great Salt Pond. These actions negatively affect the environment. It is wrong, it is shameful, and it is plain nasty. There is no excuse to intentionally continue to pollute our natural resources, such as the ponds or the Simpson Bay Lagoon. Also, garages and shipyards and their related repair activities will have the close attention of the inspection department in the coming weeks and months. Those operating without the relevant hindrance permit will be shut down. The department will be visiting these businesses to check their permits, so they are requested to have their building or hindrance permit on location as required by law, or come into the VROMI department to have them regulated. We will soon start contacting the owners of all dilapidated buildings that have not been repaired since the hurricanes last year, so that the owners could inform the department of their plans of approach concerning rebuilding or demolishing. There are about 50 to 60 structures minimally that need to be torn down throughout the island. The dilapidated structures are both safety and public health hazards. We encourage building owners to promptly report to the inspection department or risk having their buildings torn down at their expense. Finally, the department is making use of services offered from VNG International. One environmental technical expert will be assisting the department for a total of 7 weeks to finalize the complaints backlog of 2017 and 2018. She has been here for 2 weeks already and have another 5 weeks to go. Before the end of the year, the department will also welcome an experienced building inspector as part of the technical assistance from the Netherlands. Any questions about any of the above notices can be directed to the inspection department at phone number 542-0349 or email info.vromi@stmartingov.org. As a reminder to the public for the time being, The VROMI Permits Department is open Monday to Wednesdays from 8:30 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. Appointments can also be scheduled via vromi-permits@stmartingov.org. That's the email address. That is vromi-permits@stmartingov.org. The department is striving to open more days per week, as the ministry is currently in the process of hiring 2 dedicated front office workers. Additionally, the department will be closed to the public on December 27th and 28th to solely focus on permit requests. Due to a continued heavy backlog, the Department of Domain Affairs will remain closed to the public for walk-ins until further notice. The public can request appointments via email, which is domainaffairs@stmartingov.org, or contact them on telephone by telephone number 542-0349, extension 2391.